Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Mehdi, the head instructor at ConfiDentist. I often get this question from international trained dentists who recently moved to Canada. Should they pursue the NDB pathway or wait for the new program announced by ACFT? So, fortunately, we have some new information coming just very recently. I want to provide you with some clarity on this topic by sharing the details from the recent meeting between ACFT, the Association of Canadian Faculty of Dentistry, and International Trained Dentists Association of Canada. So the main focus of this meeting was actually to discuss the details of this new pathway. And here are the key points from this meeting. So regarding the program, the start of the program is actually going to be hopefully September 2025, okay? And this is going to be the first iteration of this bridging program. And the duration is going to be for around 8 months, which is going to be from September 2025 to April 2026, okay? Regarding the enrollment for the 2025-2026 program, there are going to be only 15 candidates. So I'm going to repeat, only 15 candidates will be enrolled. And there are going to be actually 3 universities, 3 dental schools who are going to be involved, okay? And which means like 5 students or 5 participants will get admission to each dental school. For the next year, for the next cycle, they're going to increase the capacity from 15 to 30, okay? So the next cycle is going to be in 2026 to 2027. And they say in the next cycles, there are going to be actually more candidates. So one thing that I want to mention here is that, as you see, technically next year and the following year, there are going to be like less than 50 people who can get acceptance or admission to this program, which is not going to be a huge number of people. So this is, to me, the first red flag for this program, which means that when we are dealing with a situation in which like more than 1,000 candidates yearly come to Canada for like as international trained dentists, just 15 or 30 candidates admission is not going to be really helpful. It's better than nothing, but it can be a very reliable pathway for those who want to get their license. So if you look at the other pathways, I mean the university pathway or the dental school pathway and the NDB pathway, you can see that like for NDB, each year more than 300 or 400 people can kind of clear the pathway and get their license. So the comparison between the two is, I think, it's just kind of like you can't compare these two pathways, okay? So things become more interesting actually when it comes to the eligibility for this pathway. So when we look at the eligibility, interestingly, you can't become eligible for this program if you have not taken the NDB exams. So initially, the program will be open to the candidates who have taken but failed the NDEC, okay? So when later I'm going to discuss the selection criteria, you will see that initially you should pass AFK, which is the first exam, ACJ, second exam, and the NDEC, which has 2 components. You should have passed situational judgment and the skills you failed, okay? So just technically you should pass 3 exams out of the 4 exams of the NDB pathway, so you can become eligible at least for the first or second cycle of this pathway, okay? So it says in the future, meaning that at least 3 years from now, they may offer this program to those who just clear AFK and ACJ, okay? So what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that if you are a new immigrant to Canada, start taking the AFK as soon as possible, because this pathway does not mean that you shouldn't take any exam. So initially they advertised that it's going to be a completely new pathway, but I think it's more like a side road to NDB pathway. So in which like not a significant number of people can become eligible to go through the program, and like 30 or maybe at most 50 people yearly can become eligible for this program, okay? So again, if you just compare the number to, for example, the number of admissions that a Western university, like the Schulich University each year gives to the international trained dentists, which is around like 20 something, and U of T accepts 20 something international trained dentists. So you see the sum of these two universities, they give more admission than this new pathway, okay? So let's take a look at selection criteria. So I already mentioned one of the selection criteria, which is the NDB exam. You should pass, you should clear, you must clear AFK and ACJ, pass situational judgment, and fail the skills, okay? The second criteria is that candidates who have been away from clinical practice for a shorter duration of time will be preferred. Also, the language proficiency is another requirement. So most probably they're gonna announce a minimum score for IELTS or TOEFL, IBT. Based on what the RCDSO has announced, I believe the minimum is gonna be high, at least 7 or 7.5 for the IELTS, and like a minimum of 100 or 105 for the TOEFL IBT is going to be, again, my predictions. And last but not least, still the final decision factor is the interview. So it means like many candidates, they will send their application, and they will invite like 50 people, 100 people, and out of those candidates, they will select like 15 or 30, and they can start their program, their 8 months program, okay? So when you finish the program, they're gonna just give you a certificate. So it's very similar to the certificate that the NDB will give to those who clear the NDB pathway. So it means that with that certificate, you can practice dentistry in Canada, but you cannot, for example, practice dentistry in States. So it's just more like a license for practice. It is not a diploma, and it is not like a degree, like a completely different degree. So it's just a certificate for practice, okay? So that is something that you should take into account if you plan to continue your education, like into specialty programs, because when you go through the university, the dental schools, when you get your license through dental schools, I mean, you finish that 2 to 3 years like program, which is offered by dental schools like U of T, Schulich. Then you're gonna receive a DDS, a Canadian DDS degree, which is important when you want to apply for a specialty programs, okay? And once you go through this 8 months bridging program, this new pathway, still you have to take the OSCE exam. So the OSCE exam, the virtual OSCE, that's what they call it right now, is gonna be actually the very last step, okay? So they announced that more details about this program will be announced hopefully soon, because the curriculum is still being finalized. And also the program will be offered actually on typodonts. So it means you're not going to practice on real patients, okay? So that's something that you should take into account. And lastly, hopefully they will inform us with more details about this program in September, especially about whether there are other criteria and the fees for this program. Again, I believe this is going to be an expensive program, okay? So don't expect this program to be a cheap one. So in conclusion, I believe this bridging program can be a significant step towards helping international trained dentists transition into the Canadian dental system more effectively. However, if you are a recent immigrant to Canada, if you just started the process, please do not waste your precious time waiting for some, shortcuts to be announced by different bodies in Canada. So this still, you have to at least clear the first 2 exams, and ideally the situational judgment. Get a good score, in IELTS or TOEFL. Maybe have a good resume. They still didn't announce that they will ask for resume. And then hopefully you have a good chance to get admission to this program. So thank you so much for your attention, and we look forward to supporting you on your journey to become a licensed dentist. Please visit our website, www.confidentist.ca, and we'll hope to help you in your journey. Thank you so much, and have a good one.